Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and Dangote Refinery are engaged in tough negotiations over petrol pricing as supply bottlenecks persist in the petroleum downstream sector. The main issue is balancing market-driven pricing with affordability, with NNPC favoring subsidy-compatible prices and Dangote pushing for market-reflective rates. That's Dangote now pushing for market-reflective rates. NNPCL looking at, subsidy and all of that. Now, negotiations have stalled for over 2 weeks due to a wide gap between the price positions of both parties, but then insiders suggest that they are seeking a middle ground to ensure supply and price stability. A new meeting is scheduled at NNPCL headquarters to reach an agreement, and NNPCL's Chief Corporate Communications Officer Olufemi Soneye expressed optimism about resolving the issue while adhering to the Petroleum Industry Act. Additionally, NNPCL plans to reopen its purchasing portal once the backlog of petrol orders are actually cleared, which is going to be our topic for the next story that we'll take after this. But we'll just kind of merge them because they are all on fuel scarcity, Dangote, NNPCL. So Nigerians now are waiting on Dangote and NNPCL.
And the masses are suffering. You can see what's happening in this country. When we say that those that are supposed to help the masses, those that are supposed to lead us, those that are supposed to give, ensure that the free life God has given to Nigerians are enjoyed, technically, whether directly or indirectly, they have a hand in the suffering of Nigerians. You can imagine. That means for the past 2 weeks, Nigerians have been suffering because of lack of agreement between NNPC and Dangote. You can imagine that. It's so painful that one will begin to think if God made mistake.
No. But the thing is that in some clients, right, when there's an issue on ground, it is tackled immediately. What I mean is, the measure that is taken,
proactive measures.
It seems like the people are not supposed to get hurt in any way.
That is it.
But is it because are we used to getting hurt? Have we developed thick skin, and then the government is aware that we have?
That is it. The government is taking advantage of the peaceful disposition of Nigerians. That is one thing I believe. Not that we are so much strong that some of those harsh economic policies or government slow pace at resolving some sensitive issue. Not that those things are not telling on night. People are dying on daily basis. I must tell you, as a result of hunger, as a result of hardship, people are suffering. Some persons are sick. They cannot access the hospital. Some persons are suffering, as a result of some of these things. For goodness sake, it is only what we hear on media. Those are the ones we feel that things that are actually going on, but that's not true. In fact, most of the things that happens behind camera or outside media coverage is even more compared to what the things that are being aired. I want to believe that. You see, the issue with our government is they fail to attend to the needs of the people. For instance, the issue of petrol, the hike in fuel price that has been on for the past 2 weeks. How is it affecting the government? The government can afford, of course, most of them have mini filling stations in their compound. So they don't even leave the comfort of their compound before they get petrol. They have it stacked on tanks,
But then let's look at this negotiation now between Dangote.
I am coming to that.
Okay.
The negotiation is not as prompt, is not as quickly as it should be, because they are not feeling, those that are negotiating are not feeling the impact of what is happening. So that is the reason the thing has lingered up to this point. Now I'm talking about the negotiation. What is so difficult? What is that thing that is so hard, for both parties to strike a balance? That's why when I make my analysis, I always try to, bring in the masses. If the interests of the government is the masses. If the interest of Dangote is the masses, believe me, it will not be difficult to strike a balance. But we have a system that every person wants to make the highest level of profit. Nobody reason. Of course, all fingers cannot be equal, and that is what Nigerians need to understand. That's what our leaders, that's what our, the big organizations in Nigeria, those that are influencing and then, at the center of decision making, that's the thing they need to understand. All of us will not be present at the same day. All of us will not occupy the seat of House of Assembly at the same time. All of us will not man or run a multi-billion naira organization like Dangote and all of that at the same time. So those of us that are privileged or that are opportune or God has placed at that level, they should see themselves as tool that God has destined or prepared to use to salvage and to help the masses.
But don't you think that the people should actually be carried along in this? Because we just hear that negotiations are on. We haven't heard about any price. All we know is that Dangote said they are not in charge of, fixing the price. All they're going to do is make sure the product is available. And then the NNPCL coming on the other hand. When Dangote made that statement, we believed that, maybe it's the NNPCL that will get to decide what Dangote would sell or something.
Yeah.
That's the belief that a lot of Nigerians have. Then the NNPCL coming to say, if Dangote fuel is too expensive or more expensive than what they buy outside, they're going to keep buying outside. You understand? And then they made it open to marketers to buy from Dangote. They're like, we're not going to buy from them for you to buy from us. Go and get from Dangote if you like. Do you understand? So it's more like a back and forth, and it's no longer clear to a lot of Nigerians. For NNPCL to have made that statement, it means they're taking their hands off the price of the fuel, which Dangote has said depends on them. And now the marketers, independent marketers, are then telling us that they are waiting for Dangote and NNPC to finish their negotiations.
Exactly.
And then reports are saying there will be a meeting today, which hopefully will make them finally finalize.
Let's hope so.
The negotiation. So don't you think that Nigerians should actually be carried along? Has Dangote mentioned a price that the NNPC feel is too much? So we're not even being told these things anymore.
That is it. Nigerians are not seen as interested party. The place of Nigerians, the position of Nigerians, they don't have anything to, it's not being considered. So that's why they are struggling with this. And once they are able to strike a balance, whether Nigerian likes it or not, you people, you just have to follow. You just have to follow suit. So it's not a new thing. It has been happening. Nigeria, we know how to swallow. We know how to take, consume whatever that comes from the government.
We expect that this would make fuel cheaper, because this.
But the reverse is now the case. And my greatest fear is let this price not remain there, because over time, remember where this increment started from. It's gradually got to 5 something, 6 something.
But you know that they said they buy it expensive from outside. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why some independent marketers had to take their hands off importing fuel. They had to just go depend on NNPCL, to get. And then the NNPCL saying they're the sole importer of fuel and all of that. All of those arrangements that were done later. But initially, the independent marketers would also import fuel. But then they said it's now very expensive. We heard one of them the other day that before this current increase, saying that it's very you will not see fuel to buy in any country for anything less than 1,000 naira.
Sure.
So if they buy for 1,000 naira or more, how much do you expect them to sell it?
They will be selling like 1,000 plus now.
And now the NNPCL are buying probably at that rate, but they are, according to them, subsidizing it almost half the price. And that's what the independent marketers are buying. So if the NNPCL then increase the fuel price, which they just did, that's why it's more expensive now for the independent marketers to sell.
Exactly.
And that's how we are the ones bearing the brunt.
Suffering.
But let's look at the next story, talking about